morning and a very warm welcome. You are watching JanataTelevision and this is the English Bulletin with me, Anustha Acharya. The top stories first. Petition against MCC rejected, refuses to register the petition saying it has already been tabled in Parliament. Nepal records 299 new cases of COVID-19. The death toll rises to 11,928. Nepal records 88.30% rise in export. Trade deficit still remains high due to excessive imports. Israeli forces kill Palestinian boy in West Bank. The soldiers open live fire before detaining him. And Nepal's hope for qualifying for T20 World Cup come to an end. UAE beats Nepal by 68 runs in the qualifiers. And now the news in detail. An advocate has filed a petition against the Supreme Court administration's refusal to register an earlier petitioner demanding the Millennium Challenge Corporation Nepal compact should not be taken to Parliament for ratification. Earlier on Tuesday morning, the Supreme Court administration refused to register the petition, saying that MCC has already been tabled at Parliament and that the Supreme Court cannot speak on an issue that falls under the prerogative of Parliament. Surendra Bhandari, the advocate, said he has challenged the Supreme Court administration's refusal to register his petition. I have demanded that the Supreme Court squash the administration's earlier decision not to register my petition against MCC and my petition be registered, Bhandari told the Post. The decision of the court saying that it cannot speak on policy decisions of the government is flawed because it has spoken on many such issues. Bhandari had approached the court on Tuesday morning with a petition against the MCC compact a day after it was tabled in Parliament. This is Janata Bulletin. We'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back after the break. We continue with other national news. The government yesterday confirmed 299 new cases of coronavirus across the country. The total cases of coronavirus in the country have climbed to 975,806, while the number of active cases has dropped to 11,282. Coronavirus claimed 3 more lives across the country, taking the death toll to 11,928. Nepal is currently among top 57 countries that have been most affected by the pandemic. The USA tops the list with over 80.14 million confirmed cases, followed by India with more than 42.85 million cases. Coronavirus has infected more than 427.95 million people across the world and claimed over 5.90 million lives. And now the news from economic front. Exports from Nepal have increased significantly in the first 7 months of the current fiscal year. According to the data made public by the Department of Customs on Tuesday, the export of domestically produced goods increased by 88.30% during the review period. The export during this period, in terms of monetary value, amounted to Rs 131 billion against Rs 69.91 billion during the corresponding period of the previous fiscal year. Similarly, the country recorded rise in imports by 42.78% during the first 7 months of the current fiscal year. The department said the total volume of imports stood at Rs 1,147.46 billion during the review period against Rs 803 billion during the corresponding period of last fiscal year. Trade deficit had increased due to the excessive imports compared to exports. The country's trade deficit stood at Rs 1,015 billion in the first 7 months of the current fiscal year, while it was Rs 733 billion during the same period of the previous fiscal year. Trade deficit has increased by 38.45%. Meanwhile, Nepal's foreign trade has increased by 46.43% in the first 7 months of the current fiscal year. The country saw transactions of over Rs 1,279.12 billion during the review period against Rs 873 billion in the corresponding period of the fiscal year. Nepal imported goods from 175 countries amounting to Rs 1,147.46 billion. Maximum quantity of goods worth Rs 696 billion were imported from India, followed by China, the department said. Nepal's trade deficit with India stands at Rs 589 billion and Rs 167.74 billion with China. Time for a short break here at Janata Bulletin. Stay tuned for international news. Welcome back. Now the international news. Israeli forces killed a teenage Palestinian boy in the occupied West Bank on Tuesday, the Palestinian Health Ministry said. Mohammed Sahedeh, 14, was killed by Israel, focuses gunfire in Al-Qadr in the Bethlehem area, a ministry statement said. Arguing an international investigation, the Palestinian Wafa news agency quoted local activist Ahmad Salah as saying that Israeli soldiers opened live fire, injuring Sahedeh before detaining him, and the soldiers prevented ambulances from reaching him. Israel's army confirmed in a statement the death of a Palestinian whom it said was among 3 suspects who hurled Molotov cocktails at passing drivers. Endangering their lives, troops were conducting counter-terrorism activities in the Al-Qadr area where numerous civilian vehicles had been targeted by the incendiary devices during the past month, the army said. The troops operated to stop them firing at one of the suspects that hurled a Molotov cocktail towards passing vehicles. The suspect was hit, it said. You are watching Janata Bulletin, and now the latest from the world of sports. Nepal's hope of qualifying for the upcoming ICC T20 World Cup have come to an end with a 68-run defeat to a UAE during the semi-final match of the ICC T20 Global Qualifiers on Tuesday. The UAE defeated Nepal to secure a place in the T20 World Cup to be held in October-November in Australia later this year. This is the second time the UAE have qualified for the T20 World Cup. This is the first time the UAE will be playing in the T20 World Cup after 2014. Nepal, who were chasing a target of 176 runs for victory, were all out in 118.4 overs with just 107 runs on board. Nepal's Dipendra Singh Aire topped score 13 runs a ball, including 3 boundaries. No other batsman performed well during the match. UAE spinner Ahmad Raza and the fast bowler Junaid Siddiqui ensured that they qualify for the World Cup at the expense of Nepal. Earlier, opting a bat to first at the Oman Cricket Academy Ground 1 after winning the toss, the UAE scored 175 runs in the allotted 20 overs, losing 7 wickets. UAE's opener Mohammad Wasim top scored 70 runs off 48 balls. His innings included 4 boundaries and 4 sixes. Avinash Bohra and Jitendra Mukhia took 3 wickets each for Nepal, while skipper Sandeep Lamichhane batted 1. The UAE had scored 84 runs in the first 10 overs, losing 2 wickets, while they added 91 more runs in the last 10 overs, losing 5 more wickets. Nepal had reached the semi-final, winning all 3 matches. In group stage, Nepal will next face the host Oman for the 3rd place playoff. The final will be held on Thursday. We are at the end of Janata Bulletin, and the headlines once again. against MCC rejected, refuses to register the petition, saying it has already been tabled in Parliament. Nepal records 299 new cases of COVID-19. The death toll rises to 11,928. Nepal records 88.30% rise in export. Trade deficit still remains high due to excessive imports. Israeli forces kill Palestinian boy in West Bank. The soldiers open live fire before detaining him. And Nepal's hope for qualifying for T20 World Cup come to an end. UAE beats Nepal by 68 runs in the qualifiers. And that's all from the English News Desk for today. You can follow Janata Television and our programs on various social media platforms, including on our website janatasamachar.com. Keep watching Janata Television. Namaste.